Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy morning to join me. I really appreciate it. And to all of you out there, I wish you the best of all Fridays. It's pre-New Year's weekend here in America, just as it is, I'm sure, all over other parts of the world that follow the calendar that we do. And I'm pretty sure that's all places except for like a handful. Anyways, which, ironically enough, did you guys know that it's like year 12 or something in North Korea? I'm not making that up. You feel me? I mean, they decided to abolish the calendar that everyone uses. So, quite literally, while we're in 2024 AD, Western speak, and defined from the Mayan calendar, I think there are in fact there is in fact at least one country that I know of out there in the world that has decided to completely just do their own thing. Hey, it sounds weird, but like, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, what is more interesting is like for finance and stuff. Like, could a political officer just change the calendar and make it like 1985 again, so that we could restart from when Mr. Reagan and Mrs. Thatcher decided to set the world on fire and watch it burn while everyone was still trying to figure out what to do, even 50 years later? Because that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, so I this morning, I want to talk about why I think gambling is worse, and if not, at least equal to the highly addictive vices that we as a common collective and culture decide to put regulations on and place stipulations on, so that we can, while at the same time, having an availability of service or product, are also in essence still trying to be responsible in the way that we consume that said product and or service. And so I just find it interesting that we do quite literally, live in a world. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. This happens on impromptu talks. I'm a super honest person, you feel me? But moreover, gambling is worse and or equal to different kinds of things that we are against as a collective culture. Some of these things include alcohol. Some of these things include that P word that involves people. They get naked. Some of there's a lot of things that we choose to go and place certain restraints on, so that we can still offer again that kind of lifestyle, but all within the confines of what we've common and collectively have agreed upon. And those that's just like a social norm. You feel me? Like, I don't know, it's just things that we agree on. We also agree that money that is worth nothing has value too. So, I mean, there's lots of things that we agree on that are like that. And so, I'm just saying that gambling in and of itself is highly addictive, whether it's an in-app game that you're playing or an actual mobile game. There are people out there who are very interested in continuing the practice of exploitation without any sort of responsibility to anybody other than the good old dollar, because capitalism trumps absolutely everything. Forget social norms, forget what's agreed upon, forget what is right and wrong. What is right is stipulated by places like DraftKings and other spots that are involved in making sure that the entire population is addicted to their product and or service. I have an issue with that. I think we should all have an issue with that. We should all have an issue with people that seek to exploit all of us for things that have no value, like money. I'm just saying that it's not in our best interests at all. It's just really not. And we should recognize collectively that not all of us are boomers with a 401k flex spending account that can afford to drop $1,000 a week on their favorite football team and not really worry about the ramifications of such. The truth of the matter is that while these people do exist, the majority of all people, including young people with limited and or just not any access to financial resources, actually get into situations where they're put in debt, and then in other more extreme situations as a result of being placed in this debt, make decisions that involve, unfortunately, sometimes unaliving themselves and stuff. Like, gambling is a problem. And I really feel like as a culture, we need to be talking more about how to regulate what we see now on our apps, what we see on billboards, what we see our favorite influencers and our favorite, athletes and movie actors doing. And again, it's okay for them, obviously. You see your favorite actor or influencer, endorsing or sponsoring a gambling product, they can afford it. It's okay for them. Gambling in and of itself, I don't think is a bad thing. Life is a gamble. Taking a walk down the street's a gamble. We all take gambles, and sometimes we all kind of need to recognize more, I think, what we have to lose when we take these gambles. And again, it just goes so far to say that you can't even assure your survival when you walk across any American street, through their city because of the congested traffic and all of the drivers who are distracted and for some reason feel like they are more important than the people that are walking out on the streets and stuff. And so I'm just saying that, I don't really feel like it's in the country's best interest to continue down this path where we are constantly bombarded with ads that want us to gamble. Again, it adds up, and it doesn't just add up to billions of dollars in profits for these software development and gaming companies. It also means that there is far less spending power, hence, the gain of billions of dollars in profit on behalf of the gambling companies, while at the very direct loss of people that, needed that money. I mean, we're quite literally saying here now in 2024 that people are spending $5 to $8 billion a year collectively on gambling, when in fact that $5 to $8 billion a year just a few years ago would have been arguably in the same pockets within those same people, because there wouldn't have been the ease to access the kinds of places that allow people to get addicted to this kind of stuff. You feel me? And I think that we can all agree on that, because gambling, again, in and of itself, I don't think is wrong, but it's something that people got to do with other people, and you got to be responsible. This is just my opinion. I'm a nobody, but I'm just saying that to have a product and service available that is, in all ways of conception, not just to make money, but to make money at any cost, to make money at the cost of years of therapy for families that are broken because 25-year marriages are now being compromised as a result of just the legalization of gambling. I mean, seriously, I'm a dumb, straight, hetero guy, and I can just imagine how other dumb, straight, hetero guys can fall into this trap and not see how it impacts the very people around them. Because again, as a straight, stupid, hetero man, I'm always just interested in, as Jerry Seinfeld said in that one, famous joke where like all men are just flying down the highway in life, and they got a girl in the driver's seat that's saying, "Get off here at this exit. There's everything that we need: food, shelter," and straight stupid dudes are in the car saying, looking at the empty gas tank like, I can make it. I can make it to the next exit. So that's what I mean. All right, that's all that I'm saying. And I feel like we really need to educate the youth. I mean, if at the very least you need to give classes and awareness and advocate for why responsible gambling needs to be demanded in a society that has chosen to monetize everything. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's decided to become a product. No, I'm not a person, I'm a joke. I just talk for 10 minutes at least each video, multiple times a day, to myself in my room. You feel me? Like, it's all good. I'm just saying that gambling is something that we really need to have a conversation about, not just with our peers and colleagues, but moreover with ourselves and with our youth, the people that we're responsible for, right? Just because we're degenerate gamblers that have decided to legalize gambling and put at risk all of what we've saved, I mean, why do we need to pass that on to like generations below us? I mean, I think we should be, again, focusing on the rehabilitation of the current gambling system and how it can be made responsible and needs to be made responsible. And if companies aren't willing to be responsible, then companies, aren't willing to participate in this system because, again, even though this system is currently predicated on the idea that the dollar is the most, highly sought out and coveted item, I really feel like as we move into the future and as technology improves and as constituents that are younger become a little bit older, the world is going to inevitably drastically change. And it's what's needed. It's absolutely what's needed. And I think one of the provisions of which that require fundamental positive change that can be sustainable is really, really reining in the current gambling industry, the current gambling model, and really placing restrictions, whether it's internet policing of certain IP addresses that are connected to underage people that, blocks them or prevents them from gambling. Again, we have to be proactive. I feel like almost we're just being reactive right now as it concerns a lot of what us are saying on this side of the aisle as it concerns, the need for responsible gambling and so forth. But gambling, okay, is a problem, and it can be a problem. And if you have a problem with gambling, link in the description below. There's a hotline number that you can call. Definitely seek out help and or advice. There are probably a number of other resources in your local community. It's really important that we absolutely take care of those people that do have gambling problems. The problem with people that have gambling problems is by the time that you realize they have a problem, just like any other sort of vice that is taken too far, it is often, in most cases, too late. And again, so that's why it really is important that we remain proactive in having these discussions that inevitably concern the well-being of society as a whole. And I think that we should all be so concerned about how our neighbors and our community is being targeted for nickel and diming and taking all of our money while giving us and leaving us with absolutely nothing. And it's these very same people that take those profits, come into our local cities, buy out everything, make it more expensive, and again, on a very fundamental level and on a very direct level, absolutely impact the way that society is going. And so, just food for thought. That's all that I'm saying. I hope that you guys have a really, really good and awesome Friday. Be safe out there. It's New Year's weekend. We all know that that means here in America, nobody will be doing anything but straight partying from Friday till Thursday. I was telling my roommate, like, there's people out there that have been partying for 2 weeks. I mean, lucky us. Christmas landed on Wednesday, meaning that New Year's Day will follow on Wednesday, right? I don't know, maybe Thursday. I don't know. Anyways, but at a weird point in the week, all of which leads into the next weekend. So America's really not going to be productive or do anything until like the first week of January. So, I mean, welcome to America. I hope that you guys have a really awesome day. And again, be safe out there, be responsible, and have conversations with those around you. And more importantly, make sure that you at least have a conversation with yourself so that you can really sort of gauge how you feel about gambling and how if you're a girl or a dude and you don't gamble, well, you still got to worry about how life could be or would be if and when you encounter a partner that you fall in love with or that you got or catch feelings for that participates in this kind of behavior, because it's different, you feel me? And again, it can be both a really good thing, but most often in all cases, I'd say like 95% of cases, it doesn't work out. And so I hope that you guys have a really good day, have these conversations with people, and take care of yourself. All right, bye.